Ohayo gozaimasu. Good morning. Sunday. Let me say this right. Ni ichi yubi. Sunday. It's up in the morning. Kind of boring. My daughter's asleep. Severe weather knocked the internet out. And I'm just trying to be thankful for small things like not being in church, giving money to listen to fairy tales that's given to you by your Zionist overlords who pretend to be Jews, just Europeans with big noses. If you don't like it, fuck it. Maybe you'll be one of those dummies that hit me up occasionally and ask me about my spirituality in a roundabout way before trying to proselytize to me and forgetting about Matthew 6:5. Verily I say unto you, do not be like those heathens in the streets and in the synagogues, because they already have their reward. If you want to pray to your Father, find solace, be alone, and your reward will be in heaven. That's attributed to Jesus. If you don't know, look it up, because most of you Christians don't read your Bible at all. That's why I put the hashtag Real Bible Study on a lot of my religious posts, because I really study the Bible. Not like you who understand that you're not smart, you're not talented, you're scared. So you pray to a Jewish zombie and you have your children listen to Bible stories. You know that half the people that go to Sunday school are over the age of 30? They still want to go to that indoctrination to hear other adults lie to their children about basically Aesop's fables. None of that shit happened. Jesus didn't exist. He ain't coming back. None of that shit. And the sooner people in the South wake up to that, you'll do better. You won't always have a built-in excuse for why you fail. Or you won't give excuses to white supremacy, why they keep kicking y'all butts. I was watching some videos this morning, and it was, a lot of religious stuff, and I don't mind it. It comes through because I love to hear other people's takes on deconstructing. And really, this is for those people who really think they have a chance, intellectually, spiritually, physically, anything, to come to me and try to cast doubt in my certainty that your religious proclivities are bullshit. My daughter's proof of that. We don't talk about God. We don't avoid it. She knows it's out there. But she could tell the difference between a fairy tale and a historical account. I know a lot of y'all scared, but at this point in history and what we're doing in the world as Americans and stuff like that, we have to draw a line in the sand and keep those dangerous people away from our children and away from us with their bullshit. A couple of weeks ago, somebody went to high school and junior high with, slid in to my DMs. They married too. Most married women won't like my posts or anything because they married to insecure, ineffectual, deficient men. And without a doubt, when you see me, I'm a man. I don't like to say grown man. That sounds weird, but I'm a man. And I'm unrelenting in my opinions about the stupidity that I left behind when I went to Washington in the military. I left here and I was happy because religion wasn't going to be put in my face because it's the South. I got out the South, better dating prospects, everything. The South is shit. Got a problem with it, hit me in the DM, we could talk about it. Just like this person did. Because I've noticed, it's a woman, I noticed her through me being in Facebook, and I'm surprised she can have a Facebook page because she's married and she's super duper Christian. That's a contradiction right there. I know her husband don't want her online talking because Most Christian men who marry, they want to be your God. And I have no desire to control another person. I do what I do, and if our universes collide, so be it. But she did something that a lot of these Christian women do, or Christians, they do a roundabout survey of your spirituality. They bring up back in the day when you used to go to youth group or go to some Wednesday indoctrination service for teenagers, when everybody that was there did not go because they loved Jesus. They went there because it got them out of their house, away from their parents. They can go play games and eat ices and frozen cups. Vocational Bible study. Nobody was going there because they want to go to heaven. Kids don't believe in that shit. They know it does. If they don't see it, it's not real. It's called object permanence. You take something away from a child, the only thing they can do is imagine about it. And most times they forget about it because before age 8, they don't have object permanence. You could play peekaboo with a kid and put your hands over your eyes and they think you left. It's called object permanence. So how the hell you going to your whole life believe so wholeheartedly in something you ain't never seen, don't know nothing about, don't read, and you let a high school dropout guilt you into crying in public and running around like a crazy person in church? This is all my black people and the Pentecostal and Baptist and all that bullshit. And then you present to the community that you're so righteous and all this, but you got 4 kids and 4 baby daddies. Your kids won't come to church. Your kids doing terrible in everything they try in their lives. Because mama lying to them. Mama using an invisible threat to keep them in line. I ain't never had to do that with any of my kids, any of my children I mentor, or anything. I just tell them I'm going to be disappointed. I'm here. But some of y'all, right now, at this moment, it's like 10:30 or some shit. Y'all sitting up in church, conjuring up fake tears, and acting like you can't get your rent paid or your bills paid, but you still put money in a collection plate for fucking what? You know, they say when you need money, the preacher tell you to pray. But when they need money, they send a collection plate to your ass. And some of y'all wonder why y'all can't travel, can't do shit. Think about all that money you put in there. Even if you're putting $1 or $2 every week. Do that over 20 years. You could have went and bought, you could have went and took that trip. And it's another thing. If you say that you travel and you tell me you went to Israel, you didn't travel. What the fuck you going to Israel for? I be seeing that shit. Other people I went to high school with, they flexing like, oh, I'm in Israel. You're a goofy nigga. And you're 5'6", nigga. Try to bully me back in the day. And I didn't knock you out because I had places to go. The military, a doctorate. A lot of them niggas. And I always told people, when I get to the finish line, it's going to be ugly. Because I was real nice. Not because I was trying to be like Jesus, be nice, and get some kind of reward spiritually. It was because I had places to go. I'll walk away from a fight, knowing that I don't need this complication. Kaizen, 120 days from now, will you be proud of your decision? People don't think like that. People think they can put money in a spiritual bank so they can go out during the week and do whatever they want. And then come back and ask for forgiveness. As long as you're giving up some money. And you won't have no guilt. That's stupid as fuck. And back to this goofy that hit me up in my DMs. First of all, she couldn't be more than 100 pounds soaking wet back in the day. And I'm surprised at how grotesque she's become. She's fat as shit. God ain't tell her about nutrition or none of that shit, but she always talk about God and this and that because she want other people to think she's so holier than thou. That's what all y'all problem is. And I done cut my bloodline off of that shit. If we can't discuss that and get down to the nitty gritty of it, and you makes sense to me why you so stupid over Jewish mythology, Jewish liberation mythology, and you voted for Trump just because you say he says he's a Christian or whatever. I would rather not have I want an atheist as the president. Yep, that's right. And I know some of y'all probably fall out over that. But y'all rather come for us who are happy with our lives, productive, successful beyond any of your imagination because you had 5 kids in your 20s because you thought that that's what God wanted. And now you fucking miserable, but you got to act like you happy to everybody and project that. I see right through it. The places I go, ain't no Christianity pushed up in your face and none of that shit. People happy, they living their life, they growing gardens and meeting new people. And y'all sit around here and go to the same funky ass church every week with the same fake ass motherfuckers who are crazy clinically and think you better. You're not. If you grew up in the South your whole life and ain't went nowhere, you're not. When we overseas and we blend in with the people, we can always see you Southern Christians. I could almost tell which state you're from. Because y'all are just losers. There's no good Christians. It's a cover. At least a person who's an atheist is brave enough to be themselves. And y'all shun it out here. You find out somebody don't go to church and don't believe, y'all act like y'all the police for morality. But this is the only place that happens. Washington, I lived there. I lived all over the world. And ain't nothing worse than a Southern Christian. And y'all get married and don't realize that this man is fucking miserable. Because you hold the threat of divorce over him, not because God won't agree with it, because you're holding the fact that you might take something from him, his house, his kids, his money, his cars, his pets, something. Y'all are not, I repeat, not the moral standard in the world. Y'all brought more destruction to this planet than anybody. If you don't understand that, it's happening in real time. Look at Palestine and how these fake white European Jews who probably were Nazis, their family were Nazis, and they switched over because they couldn't go to Argentina, are bombing kids in schools. And they know it's bullshit. There ain't nobody afraid of Iran. Ain't nobody afraid of Sharia law. Whatever. That's why y'all don't travel. Y'all want to sit right here because you think Jesus got this shit protected and he don't. He's a figment of your fucking imagination. That's what's going on. That's why the world is shit. That's why nothing make no sense to y'all. It makes sense to me. Because I'm getting it. And yes, I'm unemployed, but I'm getting it. I'm getting everything. Perfect daughter. Education at the highest level. The car I want. The garden. The property. The location. The ability to move. To go around and see the world for real, for real. But some of y'all biscuit heads had a nerve to get up in my DMs and pull that same bullshit that you pull on your freaking your high school dropout husband. Guilting, using shame, using emotion. In Japanese, the word for woman and emotion are the same word, kanojo. Because they see otoko-san is a man. That's a strong word. They believe in the natural strength of men and the natural emotion of women. These preachers who sleeping with, they up in there sleeping with we find it out every day, sleeping with young girls and boys, everything. Y'all listen to them. And then when they do get some allegations, y'all pray it away. Do you know they have insurance for molestation charges that they sell almost exclusively to churches That's a thing. Because y'all let these white folks come over here and guilt y'all into trying to attain an unattainable standard of behavior and conduct. Every person who is of some type of ministering, whatever they talk about is their sin. If they talk about child molestation all the time, they're child molesters. Talk about alcoholism all the time, they're alcoholics. Talk about adultery all the time, they're adulterers. They talk about gay, the ones who go hard, like, remember Eddie Long, all them fuckers? They are exactly what they preach about. It's psychological projection. Because that's what they can be passionate about. It can be a passion about staying in the closet, hiding things. You see the links that these people will go to hide things. We know everything that they said about Donald Trump was true. Everything. All he got to do is come out and say, no, that's not true. And some weirdo like y'all will defend it. They'll vote for it. Because they think that their reward is in heaven. But it ain't no heaven. That's a concept brought to you by the Catholic Church. So you'll pay for indulgences and give them more money. But y'all don't do real Bible. So y'all don't listen to nothing. Y'all go to church and think you're covered in the blood. What the fuck? Who wants to be covered in blood? But y'all say that. And act like you eating parts of his body, eating little crackers and drinking, grape juice. Y'all need to wake the fuck up. Because some of y'all go to y'all grave not knowing or not coming to the realization that y'all are wasting y'all lives and y'all Sundays and y'all Wednesdays and your kids' childhood trying to beat fear into them. And I told people in my family from the beginning, I will not tell my daughter she ain't shit. I will not instill fear in her. I will not put limits on her. And I will not do like you guys do and think that there's virtue in suffering. There is none. You're not going to get all of your joy back after you die. You'll be at peace. Absolute zero. You won't have a consciousness. How your consciousness was working before you were born is how it happens afterward. Your mind is where God is. Because it's what you think is your worldview. We are nothing but star particles. Billions of years old. That have to make the best of the intelligence and the communities that we create. And you stunt your mental growth when you think your community is a place where they talk about fictional characters, bronze mythology, and think that there's some wisdom for these illiterate dirt farmers in Palestine 2,000 years ago. And you're not going to be of the world, and you're trying to make it to the kingdom, and all that bullshit, you wig-wearing, big-back, musty, church-going, judgmental ex-hoes and pimps trying to put off on our kids. So, get in my DM, ask me. I'll wrap the story up. Ask me about my spirituality. Try to tell me, oh, you were playing basketball at the church center in 13. Like, oh, you noticed? But, yeah. And tell them, I went there because they had an indoor basketball court. I think I was going there to sit around and listen to some fucking young, white, genetic recessive mutant that can't get a date and is trying to deal with these little 14, 15-year-old girls. You think I come here and listen to that? No, I'm going to go and run that court. And I did. And then you bring that up, because that's just the way that they try to get into you, bring you nostalgia, because that works on their slow asses. So, bringing that up and telling me about my daughters, trying to butter me up, all this other shit. Oh, she's beautiful and blah, 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 blah. But I had a question about your spirituality. Why? It's none of your fucking business, bitch. It ain't your business. Matthew 6:5. Your spirituality is not supposed to be a public display. That's vanity. That's, it doesn't jive with being truly humble. So yeah, I wrote a paragraph, basically a half an essay, talked about Mizu no Kokoro, the water's mind, Taoism, Tao. Yeah. Wrote it, told her I ain't gonna let my daughter, your kids don't really want to go to Sunday school and all that shit. They do it to impress you and to make you feel better. And I cut off my bloodline because they still on that bullshit, refuse to talk about it. All of that. And then she gonna send me some condescending shit in true Christian fashion. Well, thank you for sharing what you did. But yeah, because I'm not gonna go back and forth with you and write a sentence and a question. I'm gonna give you everything so you don't have nothing else to ask me. Yes. We go to Japan. Yes. We study Japanese philosophy and spirituality. Y'all call spirituality just philosophy of life.